Hello my friends, welcome to Return from Street Treasures number 2. After last week's video about the best urban cycle in the world, this video will be a little bit more intense, nevertheless still of high interest. You may have already seen Return from Street Treasures number 1, which will show you another series of objects that I found in the street. This Return to the Flea Market 2 will be a bit less packed with objects than Return 1. I remind you the general principle. Basically, you're just looking around in the street, seeing what are the objects that people put there, which means that they are, so to say, without owners. So it means you can take them. And this has 3 main advantages. The first one is that you're consuming less resources for the planet. The second is that you have less hassle for the transport, because usually you can take them back by foot. And the last one obviously is that, of course, these resources are also for free, so it's a good way of making savings. Bonjour les amis, bienvenue. Because of time constraints, I didn't have really the opportunity for cleaning the ground today, but if you want to see how to do this in a very efficient way, don't hesitate to have a look at the video which is in link. For Return of Street Treasures 2, let's go. So here, first of all, we have 2 boards. So these boards are of plain wood, so it's massive wood, so it's usually good wood. And this one in particular is contreplaqué, which makes that it's extremely solid. You could see this already in my video about how to install a shelf on the wall with recuperated wood. So this is a very solid wood. Then I also found this type of holder. So it's an accordeon. I don't know yet for which purpose I can use it, but this can be useful for putting plants on it, for instance. Don't forget the very nice introduction of my video about heightening a sofa number 3, where you can see these plants. Or maybe it could also help in case of light floods in the house, for putting some objects on it, for avoiding them to be attacked. Then I have this lamp. It's very resembling with an IKEA lamp, so I don't know if it works, but here apparently there's only a little piece missing and the bulb. And in case it's not working, I can even take this wire here with a switch, which I can use for other lamps. Then I also found this drawer. And this drawer, honestly, was a great surprise to me, because as you have seen in my video about how to install a little piece of furniture on the wall, there was one piece of furniture which is missing a drawer. So this can be the basis for creating a new drawer for this piece of furniture. And even the handle here is quite nice. So I think that can be reused for my other piece of furniture. Then I have here this plot. The owner is here written on the piece itself. Nevertheless, I saw it in the street during 2 weeks. So after this period, I thought it will be not taken back. But in any case, I invite, in case you have some friends working in the construction sector in Brussels, don't hesitate to forward it to them. I'll be very pleased to give it back. But this is useful for me because I'm very often cutting on the street the plants I have there. So it's good for avoiding any risks for the pedestrians. Then I have also found this kind of bucket. So this is really a big size. This is great. This is usually used for masonry, but here this is a nice size, and of course it's not without reminding us the video about the light floods, about the manual tools for managing all the water in the house. Then I'm coming to, let's say, bigger pieces. On one hand, there are these signs, which I think are really nice. So first of all, here, this one, Coke, this is quite a known brand. And you see, by the way, that it's a registered brand, of course, just to highlight also the importance that in case you are having a business, don't forget to protect your brand as it should be. I also have the back end of this sign, and the idea here is to put some LED stripes inside, and it can be easily put on a wall, which gives a little bit of decoration. So that's the plan. And here I have a bigger one. This piece is quite big, so for bringing it to the house it was very easy because I was by foot. But for moving it far away, my Citroën C4 again will be extremely useful because it's big enough for moving these long items without needing to put them on the roof. So same principle, the idea is to change the inside here of the neons for LED stripes. What is also nice is the history behind this object, because you see here it has been recycled as a food store sign, but in reality below you still see the markings of an old application which was chitonné, so probably it was also used for a bar. And you can imagine my secret project for this sign. It is to remove the letters for changing it for Happy Hour TV 1. And this is of course not without reminding us the very nice series about the construction of this sign, which basically enabled to create 4 panels for the price of 2, or translated 2 panels for the price of 1. Before going to the pallets, we have here this bag. So this is not a bag I found in the street, but this is a bag we left outside for aeration purposes, because unfortunately the cat had peed on it. So now this is for a couple of months that the bag is outside, including in the rain. We'll be cleaning it up so we can use it again. And of course it's not without reminding us the amazing multilingual video about the year 2020 seen from the perspective of my cat Caillou, and this video is available in all EU official languages.
Γεια σας, με λένε Caillou. Γεννήθηκα πριν από 3 χρόνια σε αυτό το υπόστεγο, όπου αρχικά έμενα με τον αδελφό μου. Και όταν μεγάλωσα και ήρθε η ώρα να ανεξαρτητοποιήσω.
Elämäni omiin käsiini. Talon omistajat adoptoivat minut ja löysin meille uuden talon suuresta kaupungista. Nautin paljosta vapaudesta ja ihmiseni jopa rakensivat minulle ihan
graças às inúmeras rampas que foram instaladas para mim. Estou bem alimentado e os meus donos cuidam bem de mim. Era realmente uma vida
Azt csináltam, amit csak akartam. Jó évek voltak ezek, az életem szépen telt. Aztán jött 2020.
Czas na obiad. V tiskárně není žádný inkoust. Setkání se začne o 5 minut. Kdo připravuje jídlo? Každý den, kromě víkendu. Nuže dobře, zvykl jsem si.
Gern mit meinem Menschen abzuhängen. Der unrasierte Besitzer denkt, es liegt an ihm. Aber die Wahrheit ist, dass sich der Heizkörper direkt unter seinem Schreibtisch befindet. Ganz genau hier.
Il-wasla ta' qattusa ġdida, jisimha Bianca. Tridu tkunu tafu x'kienet l-ewwel reazzjoni tiegħi?
De muncă grea. Maestrul meu a compilat toată experiența acumulată în canalul YouTube Happy Hour TV 1.
And then to end with, we have the pallets. This is really a very nice raw material because it's massive wood, so it's not so difficult to get it back. And this is a very good transition for the end, because I will first of all undo these pallets, and secondly I will build something out of it, which will be probably on one hand a waste container for the countryside, and the second will be a large opening on the attic for insulation purposes. So I'm inviting you now to join the next video, which is precisely about the pallets. So see you in a second on Happy Hour TV 1.